Hello everyone, welcome to another video on the mobile arena. Today we will be talking about a relatively popular app game that's been out there lately, and it is called Piano Tiles. And this app is out for iPhone and Android, and it's a pretty good, fun and relaxing sort of quick game that you can play on the go. They have 5 different game modes right now, and I'm just going to go through all of them and talk about how I think about it. The game is as simple as you would think it is. Basically what happens is that there are different game modes which allow you to press the keys. And after pressing them all, depending on what game mode you have, you get a score. And the classic mode is basically they give you a certain number of tiles and you try to go through them as much as possible. Overall, I think a lot of this game has to do with the music, I guess, because the music is very random, meaning that there can be a lot of different songs that it picks, and sometimes you may recognize the songs and sometimes you may not. For example, they might have Canon in D, which is a very popular classical piece, or they might have Fur-Elise, and there's probably a lot more, and you can find out for yourself how many there are. And the classic one basically gets you a high score of how many times, how fast you do it, and if you get it wrong, it will play a dissonance note like this. So it will say that I failed. Now let's move on to the other modes. We have Classic, Arcade, Rush, Zen, and Relay. Arcade is basically the tiles move by itself, like so, and it is different from the classic mode because the classic mode is just giving you a certain number of tiles and you try to be as fast as possible, whereas this one is trying to last as long as possible. So we have that. Next we have the Zen one, which is a 30-second run and seeing how much you can get in 30 seconds. And you can see that the pieces that they choose just loop constantly. And there's Fur-Elise. That was Fur-Elise, and you can hear it sounds a bit different, but overall it is pertaining to how the piece originally sounds. Next one we have Rush, and this one is similar to Arcade, but instead of taking down how many times or how many tiles that you've gone through, it takes down the speed that you have. I'll go one more just to go a bit faster. The speed, how many tiles you can press per second. I'm doing terribly apparently. One more time. The funny thing about this application is that the notes that you press, since they all follow a certain speed, they're not really in rhythm to the original piece, but you can still hear it, and I think that's pretty funny. For Relay, you have to get a certain number of tiles for every 10 seconds, and then they try to see how long you can last. So that one I made it, and soon it will be a lot harder. You'll have to get a higher amount of tiles before the game is over. Like so. And that's the relay one, and your high score is by how many tiles that you hit. Last thing we can go to is the sounds. So you can make it the default, and you can turn it off too, in case you don't have headphones or you don't want to disturb other people. They also have tutorial, rest reminder, which is also sort of funny. They basically tell you every once in a while to take a break, and they also have remove ads and such. But overall, that's the gist of the game, and I find the game a pretty good time killer. The only exception would be maybe if they have more pieces and more songs, because so far I've cycled through all of them already. And maybe if I think in the future they probably do have more customization. But overall, I very much enjoyed the simplicity of this game, and it has a similar competitive quality that you might have with your friends, since it's very easy to play for fun and to compare with other friends to see how you do. Here you can see the take a break reminder, which is also funny. They tell you every once in a while to take a break, and you can disable that. Other than that though, that's all I have to say for this application. Overall, I find the app quite entertaining to do something while I'm waiting in my spare time. Anywho, thanks for watching. Please leave your comments and suggestions below, and I will see you in the next episode.